Thank you for joining us this evening. We have linebackers coach Brian Jean-Marie to ask a question to BJ. Hit the raise your hand function. We will start with Eric Kane, and then we'll go to Will Backus.
Hey, Brian, I know a lot of the storyline with this position group is who's not been out there. But for those guys who have been out there, these 11, 12 practices, what have you seen from that group in terms of progression and guys standing out?
First, I'd like to, commend those guys. Our numbers aren't very high, but the guys that have been out there, hardworking crew, a lot of buy-in with that group. They want to come out there and get better every day. A lot of guys with, not a lot of experience, but, they fight their butt off, every day in, some adverse situations. So I want to commend them. But, as far as them, as far as on the individual level, you got a bunch of guys that are athletic, have a lot of hunger, just trying to learn football right now, but they've gotten better. The transformation from the first practice to this last one being, practice number 12 has been amazing. I'm very proud of those guys.
Hey, Brian. Josh Heupel recently said that a big standout this spring has been Quasi Garland. I was just wondering what you've seen from him personally and kind of how he's handled, the increased opportunities given the lack of guys you have there.
He's one of the main ones kind of based off my last statement. Obviously, he's new to the linebacker position, but he's a very athletic, very intelligent kid, tough kid, plays every snap like it's his last. I think he's got a very bright future because he's still learning the game. He plays it the right way, with the DB background that he has. Obviously, he's made for, the game the way it is today, as it is a space game and, where people, play to the grass and, to the field as far as the wide side of the field in most offenses. And he's kind of built for that because of his athleticism and speed. So we've been very, very, happy with the way, Pack has been playing so far.
David Ubbin, then Brent Hubbs.
Brian, what have been kind of the challenges of having kind of limited numbers and changing numbers throughout the spring for you?
It's been a challenge, but like I said, I commend that unit, that group, because they've never complained. Even when our numbers have been low, they go out there and play. It's about opportunity, and being prepared when you have that opportunity. So we've got a lot of guys that probably thought they didn't see themselves playing this early in their careers, and they're getting the opportunity to impress Coach Heupel and Coach Banks. So they're making the most of it. So we take it day by day. Obviously our numbers are small, but we'll never use that as an excuse. We're going to go out there and try to perform to the highest level and do what we can to play a Vol brand of defense.
Coach, in particular with Jeremy Banks and with Roman Harrison, have you been able to make any kind of assessment with those guys this spring? And maybe where are they in terms of understanding what this defense is about and what your expectations are for them?
Their evaluation process. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
Just your evaluation of them and kind of where are they in the understanding of the defense?
They're in every meeting. So every installation meeting they're in. They're able to watch film with us. So most of their, I guess most of the things that we're going to grade them on is going to be on the mental side and understanding what we're trying to get done. Obviously, new terminology, new schemes. So that's where, they're going to make the most learning what to do. And they've been great in the rooms. We treat them just like we do everybody else in the classroom, where they're able to answer questions and take notes. So I think they're going to be, obviously ahead of, anyone else as far as coming back, back in the fall, because they've been able to sit in every meeting and should have a general understanding of what we're trying to get done on defense.
Have you been able to assess them physically much at all in terms of how they fit into this scheme?
Not really. Neither has been cleared as up to this point. They're doing a great job in rehab. Our training staff says they're both probably ahead of schedule. So that's great, but we're not going to rush them back at this point. But right now they look, physically well, and probably will be ready to go once we start fall camp.
Ben McKee, then Patrick Brown.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about another young linebacker in Morvin Joseph. Just what have you seen out of him this spring?
Morvin's a very very talented young man. Obviously, came in as a highly rated outside linebacker. Has some edge rush potential because he's got a lot of twitch. He can really get upfield and get after the passer and cause havoc in the backfield. More of his biggest learning curve is just going to be to play inside linebacker. We're asking him to do a lot to help us out on defense. Obviously, with our numbers. He's not totally comfortable there, but he gives it everything he has, and he's showing some flashes of really giving us a chance to get him on the field as far as playing inside linebacker. Obviously, we're very comfortable with him as an outside pass rusher, but he's evolving into every down linebacker, and he's done a good job this spring.
Sorry, Bill. Hey, Brian. I guess one guy you haven't talked about yet is Will Albright, who was a long snapper. I guess how did that move come about? Did he approach you guys, or is that something you guys as a staff said, "Hey, he played linebacker in high school. We're going to give him a shot"?
Will is a team player. I think obviously he was recruited here as a long snapper, but he's an athletic long snapper, and based off our numbers, he wanted to do what he could to help the program, and he also sees that as an opportunity for what he does. If you're able to play linebacker and obviously tackle and obviously take on blocks and understand the linebacker position, that only enhances what he can do as a long snapper and vice versa. But he's done a great job for us, and he's been rotating in every day, getting linebacker snaps, showing his toughness, and like I said, he's one of the guys that's had a really good spring. So we've been very very excited for what he's been able to show so far. Obviously, like I said, he adds a lot of value because of his long snapping potential, but he's a guy that could go into a game and play Mike linebacker for us. So his value to the team is very high right now.
Have you ever had a long snapper that played with your group at any point in your career, or is this a first for you?
This is a first, I would say that. I mean, obviously, but I've been around long snappers who I felt like could go out there and play, give us a few snaps because they were athletic enough and had some toughness to him. So he's the first that actually has gone out there and do it. So hats off to him. Like I said, he's doing a lot to help the program at this point.
Gustavo, then Eric Kane.
Coach, in terms of your assessment of your two linebacker seniors, Nick and Solomon Page, how they're doing this practices? What are your assessment of them?
Solomon Solon, I got to make sure I pronounce his name right. Solon Page has done a great job. He's kind of been thrust into a leadership role and a starting role, and has done a great job for us. He's kind of been the glue with everything that we've done because he's kind of the senior member of the unit, and we've asked him to play both Mike and Will linebacker, and he's done a great job for us. He's been learning on the run. Like I say, didn't come in with a ton of experience, but he's the most experienced guy in the room. And I've seen him get more physical from day one, and his understanding of what we're trying to get done on defense is really starting to evolve. So we've been very very happy with him. We think he's got a chance to obviously help us in the fall. And then the next one you were talking about was Nick Humphrey.
Yes.
Yeah, Nick's been great. He's another guy, obviously been around the block a few times. He's done a great job coming in and helping us, bringing some leadership, the technique part, and just the understanding of what it takes to be, SEC linebacker, and what the expectations are to be a Tennessee, linebacker has been great for the young guys. He's probably one of the more vocal guys that we have, and gives it everything he's got. He's done a tremendous job also.
Hey, Brian, I know linebackers kind of tied in with everything being there in the middle, helping with the run and the pass, but from the defense as a whole, new system, new scheme, new coaches from practice one to where you guys are now, despite, lacking in numbers in some areas, how would you assess really just your entire unit so far this spring?
I've been happy with them. Have we been perfect? Obviously not. We have a lot of things we have to clean up. There's a lot of mistakes that have been made, but I've been, the most impressed with the effort. I think those guys really care, about, volunteer football, and they want to do what's best for the team, and they're doing everything that they can. So, like I said, we haven't been perfect by any sense of, of the imagination, but, with the effort that we have, I think we're going to have some positive results just because they play so hard and they want to do it, within the framework of, what we're trying to get done on defense. So I have to say I've been pleased. Obviously, we want to get better, building the numbers and, creating a little bit more havoc as far as, with turnovers, sacks, tackles for loss, interceptions, PBUs. But, we've gotten a few. We've had some missed opportunities. But like I said, when you have the effort there, the rest of it will take care of itself.
Last question, Wes Rucker.
Yeah, Brian, I guess I'm wondering from a more of a maybe a basic sense with what these guys were asked to do last year at linebacker and what y'all want to do now, your principles and philosophies, are there major differences? I mean, I know linebacker's kind of linebacker, but there's a lot of different ways to play it.
Really didn't study what they did last year. Obviously, we watched tape last year just to get a general assessment on athletic ability and, how they, met and defeated blocks and how they played in space, but really didn't get tied into what they did. We always try to give them a blank slate as they walk through the door. Like I said, the thing we tried to evaluate was their tackling ability. How were they in coverage? How did they blitz? We tried to watch those, things from last year to see where we thought we could, put them in as far as our defensive package. But as far as the differences, as you said, football is football. Still get aligned, be gap assigned, know what your responsibility is versus the runner and the pass, and then go find the football and go make plays when the ball's in your area. So that's how we're always going to assess them. So like I said, I can't really speak on how much different it is. I know with our system, it's very multiple. So we do ask a lot of them, and they've been up to the task for the most part this spring.
Thank you, BJ, for your time.
Thank you, guys.